On the March 1st edition of Newswatch 18, President Obama's right-hand man was at Iowa State today. We have highlights from his speech. We continue our preview of VEISHEA 2012 with a look at VEISHEA Service Day. And it was senior night for the women's basketball team. We look back at their home finale coming up next.
Studio B, this is Newswatch 18.
Milwaukee.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Newswatch 18. I'm Natalie Freisted.
And I'm Alyssa Weiss. The president's second-hand man was at attendance at Iowa State University.
The Iowa State community packed Howe Hall this morning to hear Vice President Joe Biden speak. He was introduced by former Iowa Governor and Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack. The Vice President praised the contributions that Iowa State University has made to the fields of agricultural and mechanical engineering.
I know that we're the most skilled workers and engineers in the entire world. Just look what you're doing here at Iowa State. If your company is partnering with Iowa State, you're not worried about protecting your intellectual property.
The key point of Biden's address was the commitment that the Obama administration has made to supporting U.S. manufacturing. Biden also addressed important issues such as NASA funding and the recent healthcare mandate.
Iowa State University police charged students Nicholas Sadako and Noah Bergman with growing marijuana in Iowa State dorms this week. Police entered an Iowa State dorm room on Tuesday and discovered a marijuana growing operation. And here's the twist. The marijuana was found growing inside one of the students' computers. The students were taken into custody and Scudetto is currently being held on bond with $16,000 on counts of controlled substance violation, violation of the Drug Tax Stamp Act, and possession of drug paraphernalia. The charges could amount to up to 5 years in prison if convicted.
Design students had the chance to meet with prospective employers at the Great Hall of the MU. Today's career fair was among the last of a series of this semester's career fairs. Throughout the year, students of all schools have the chance to meet with businesses and owners and corporations to earn internships and network for businesses in the future.
2 ISU chemists participated in a research team that is looking into how genetic mutations in plants can improve the conversion of biomass into biofuels. The study shows that cellulose produced by the mutated plant could be more efficiently processed into the sugars necessary for biofuel production. An Iowa State professor of chemistry, Mei Hong, and Iowa State graduate student, Tuo Wang, both helped conduct this study.
ISU TV continues its preview of VEISHEA Week 2012 next week. As application deadlines near for committees, we'll preview VEISHEA Service Day and the parade on Newswatch 18. VEISHEA Service Day is an annual day of service in which ISU students give back to the university and Ames community. Service Day is a partnership also with Stash the Trash, a community project aimed at keeping the Ames community litter-free.
We'll have people all around the community picking up trash, so they can go to whatever area they want to pick up, in their own neighborhood, along the major roadways, in the parks. So they just get to kind of pick wherever they want to go, and then they go out and pick up trash and bring it back to Ryman Gardens.
They are trying to reach 1,000 student volunteers to assist on March 24th. Registration information can be found at the VEISHEA website. ISU TV News Team will have more on VEISHEA Service Day next week on Newswatch 18.
A new study led by 2 Iowa State University researchers shows that children who are already more impulsive or have attention problems tend to spend more time playing video games than other children. Douglas Gentile, an associate professor of psychology at Iowa State, and Edward Swing, an ISU psychology doctoral candidate, worked with researchers from the Institute of Mental Health and the National Institute of Education in Singapore on the study. The ISU researchers say their findings raise concern about the potential for video games contributing to further attention problems in children.
So, Matt, what's going on in sports this week?
Well, the Cyclone women found out what seed they'll be in the Big 12 tournament. We'll have all the highlights from last night's win and more coming up after the break. You're watching Newswatch 18. Welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm Matt Van Winkle with your sports update. It was the final game in Hilton for 2 of the Twister sisters. Andrew Schneider has more.
Reflect on all the good moments, some of the bad, how they got here, the changes in their life, not just as basketball players, but are they walking off the court tonight better people than they got here? If the answer to that's no, I'm not doing my job.
Coach Ben, thank you for giving me the opportunity of a lifetime. You have challenged me like I've never been challenged before in my life. And that has made me a better player and a better person. And I'll always appreciate that. Coach Ben, I remember a time at the Big 12 tournament last year when you told me, that we loved you and you didn't think I was being honest. I know I never say much to you, but I want you to know how can I not love you and give you the opportunity of a lifetime. For putting your health at risk to be here with us when sometimes we didn't even want you here. To the team, I'll never forget the memories you have made together. Our locker room talks, in front before the games, team dinners, summer parties, plane rides, and our memories of the court. You guys have been like my sisters, and I love you all.
Very proud. You feel like a proud parent to see them do that in front of a crowd like that and feel that they're ready to move on with their life. And you like to see them succeed in a positive way at the end. And I think that's a night they'll always remember.
It just kind of really meant a lot to me, my parents to be there, and just knowing this was senior night and kind of my last game. I'm just a very emotional person.
And senior night did not end on a sour note for the Cyclone women as they took on Kansas State. After a sluggish first half and only leading the Wildcats by 4 at the break, the ISU women flat out dominated in the second. The Cyclones outscored the Wildcats 36-16 in the second half and went on to win 57-33. Freshman Nikki Moody scored a game-high 15 points, while Hallie Christopherson dropped 14 points and grabbed a team-high 8 rebounds. Senior Lauren Mansfield went out with style, scoring 13 points in the Cyclone victory. These two teams will see each other next week down in Kansas City. With the win, the Cyclones clinched a spot in the 4 versus 5 matchup against Kansas State in the Big 12 tournament. The 33 points allowed by the Cyclone defense last night was the fewest given up by the team in conference play this season. The Cyclones' strong defensive effort comes at a good time, too, as the team heads to Waco on Saturday to battle the undefeated and nation's top-ranked team in Baylor. The regular season finale tips off at 11 a.m. And it was deja vu for Fred Hoiberg and the Cyclone men last night in Columbia. Last time Iowa State and Missouri met, the Cyclones couldn't hold on to their halftime lead, and that ended up being the story last night. The Cyclones held a 40-36 halftime lead, but the Tigers had speed and a home court behind them to lead the nation's number 3 ranked team to victory, 78-72. Iowa State dominated on the glass and hit 12 threes, but committed 15 turnovers and sent Missouri to the free throw line 23 times. Missouri had 5 players score in double figures, led by Michael Dixon off the bench, who scored 21 points on the night. For Iowa State, it was Royce White who did his thing once again. The sophomore scored 20 points and grabbed 6 rebounds and dished out 9 assists. The Cyclones kept it close in the second half, but a 9-0 Missouri run would help the Tigers on to victory. The loss drops Iowa State to 21-9 overall and 11-6 in the Big 12. The Cyclones will host number 9 Baylor on Saturday for senior night. A win on Saturday would give Iowa State a number 3 seed in the Big 12 tournament over Baylor. The Cyclones will honor its 2 seniors, Scott Christopherson and Chris Allen, after the game. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. at Hilton. And that's all I've got for sports tonight. Now, Sam, what's the weather looking like for next week?
Matt, next week is looking like kind of a treat weather-wise. Temperatures are going to start warming up. So stay tuned for that and more. This is Newswatch 18. Welcome back, everybody. I'm meteorologist Sam Schreier. Bringing you your next segment of Iowa weather. Let's jump right into our forecast. Midnight tonight, we kind of have a small chance of a rain-snow mix. Very, very small, though. And if it does happen, it will be light accumulations of both rain and snow. 36 tonight. In the morning, you're going to see possible 32 degrees. Could be right around freezing, but it's going to warm right up into about 37 for 3 p.m. And our winds will start to get a little windier into tomorrow. We should see those gusting up a little higher. Currently, right now, we're seeing partially cloudy skies out there. Our temperature is at 40 degrees. It's actually not too bad outside. If you go out there, it's kind of nice with an east wind, 8 to 10, that will be increasing a little bit into the night. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what our current temperatures are kind of around the state. Mostly 40s, and these 30s I've got up in the northwestern part of the state are upper 30s, 38, 37, and those will be falling just a little bit into the night. But like I said, our temperature around midnight should be about 36 degrees, so nothing too horrible. It'll get colder into the morning. Now, this is kind of our regional outlook of Iowa and the states. This is what's kind of going on around. This low pressure here is going to start to push off east over the state, under it, though, and we should get a little bit of our moisture wrapping up, and that's why this area of rain is hanging out there in around just a little north of Ames, heading out over to the eastern part of the state. And that's going to persist through the night, and we could see a little stronger winds from that deepening low. Taking a look at what tonight's temperature is going to be, small wintry mix with 31 degrees. Tomorrow, we're going to see a little more blustery winds, northwest 9 to 12 miles per hour, mostly sunny with 38 degrees. Taking a look at our extended forecast, we've got, again, temperatures starting to warm up into the weekend, with Tuesday's highs getting into the 60s, as you guys can see. That's all for weather. Now back to the desk.
One Iowa State student is helping fight cancer in a unique way. Kelly Wagner, a junior in dietetics, wrote a children's cookbook that includes healthy recipes for favorite kids' meals. The cookbook was written in order to fulfill part of her capstone project in the honors program that she is involved in. She was able to come up with recipes that can help manage symptoms that children undergo throughout cancer treatment. With each recipe, she identified what symptoms the meals would help alleviate. Cooking is one of her passions, and she wanted to combine that with her other passion of helping children.
And that's all we have for this edition of Newswatch. Head to our website at isutv.stuorg.iastate.edu for women's basketball senior night speeches and a recap from last night's game, as well as information about Kaleidaquiz 2012.
Thanks for tuning in, and join us Monday for more news, weather, and sports. Have a great weekend.